My name is General George Washington. I spent most of my formable life here, but yes, I was moved here when I was a small boy, but I spent most of my life growing up here on the banks of the Rappahannock. Oh, there was quite a few good memories here, and then there were some bad ones as well, but that's growing up. But I think most of the time I think was spent was playing along the riverbank itself. You know, we fished a lot, swam, skipped rocks, watched the ships come and go, swinging on the grapevines. So there was a lot of fun time spent here growing up. Well, me and my brother John, called Jack, were very close together, and my sister. And then, of course, we had Samuel and Charles, and some of the other neighboring kids come by, and we all seemed to entertain ourselves, find our own form of entertainment when we weren't doing the chores. Oh, anything my mother could think of. We were a small family. We were a small farm, you know, so didn't have a large abundance of servants here. So we were tasked doing simple things like taking care of the livestock, weeding the garden, working in the fields, and typical farm life. Yes, I did. At one point, I became old enough that my mother sent me and my sister to school there. And we used to take the ferry and go over to the Reverend Murray school that he had run for the boys and girls there. And I attended that school there for a number of years. And I was there, it was probably about the only real formal education I could say I had. Well, the ones that always stick out was the rules of civility from the copybooks. We spent countless hours of writing and working, perfecting our handwriting and learning the rules of civility. And there was a good many of those. And I also liked the reading about history. And that was there I learned that I had a natural nick for arithmetic, if you will. Well, I always thought of my life as a very humble one. Living here on this farm was a pretty simple life. But it was here we also learned a lot of lessons. And we learned lessons that my mother and father both taught us. And these things were like how being honest and being honorable and always showing integrity. But also was that hard work and perseverance would always lead to a fruitful and prosperous life. I always tried to, throughout my life, take those simple lessons and employ them in everything I ever did. Well, growing up here on the farm, my father passed when I was about 11 years old. And I had two older half-brothers, Lawrence and Austin. Austin lives in Westmoreland County. But it was Lawrence who took me in and kind of fulfilled the role as father figure for us. I had a sister, Betty, and I had brothers, Jack and Charles and Samuel, and we all grew up here on the farm. My mother never remarried, so it was left up to her to manage the farm and us children. And as I got older, I found myself spending more time at Mount Vernon under the tutelage of my brother Lawrence, who kind of helped guide me. He was kind of that father figure, if you will. Oh yes, and you know everything changes. Seems like over time, and it just seems to unfold before our eyes. And I think, and I think about my time, you know, watching the port disappear, and seeing the commerce end here in Fredericksburg. The war years certainly brought change to a lot of the landscape. But now, when I look at it today, it amazes me how once this wilderness has become so populated with people and all the infrastructure and building and business and how it's grown. And I think now how we intended this country to really be, it certainly has become. The opportunity itself of opening a business, whether you're in the shipping business, you're adjacent to the waterways, West of here, there's timber. There's lots of lands for farming. And with that, the iron mines. There's major roads that run north and south and east and west. It's a crossroad of opportunity here in Virginia. So I would very much highly recommend anyone here to explore Stafford County because of where it sits within Virginia.